We have some juicy trade rumors to dive into on today's Chiefs Report. I'm Harrison Graham, but before we do all of that, subscribe to the channel. We got a subscriber battle going on with the Raiders Report and Mitchell Renz. They're beating us right now, 129 to 97 new subscribers this week. Let's close the gap and surpass the Raiders Report new subs. Can't be losing to the Raiders off the field. You know they're not going to lose to them on the field. Let's beat them in subscribers as well. So hit that big subscribe button, and we'll dive into today's show. You're watching the Chiefs Report. I'm Harrison Graham, and we kick off today's show with Mike Evans. Could he be a trade target for Kansas City? NFL.com mentioning that Evans could be a target before week 1 for the Chiefs. Here's Mark Sessler of NFL.com talking about the Chiefs wide receiver situation. He says, it felt like Kadarius Toney was just beginning to bubble into a figure of wonder come the Super Bowl. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Skyy Moore, Richie James, and rookie Rashee Rice will help fill the void left by Juju Smith-Schuster. Justyn Ross is a 6'4" item of intrigue too, but Kansas City rests in a unique spot. Player development is king, but trading for a plug-and-play star, maybe Tampa's Mike Evans, would keep the Mahomes machine a step ahead of the Bengals and the Bills. And look, it's certainly an intriguing name to discuss when it comes to Kansas City. Mahomes has never really had a receiver like this, where 6'4", 6'5", 230 plus, a guy who can stretch the field consistently and win, and also win on those back shoulder balls. He hasn't really had that type of receiver. It's usually more smaller and shifty guys, and Evans has been super consistent. He's basically an 1,100 yard per year guy and 8 to 12 touchdowns. That's typically what he gives you. We've talked about this recently. The Chiefs wide receiver room is really deep. Like, there's a lot of depth here. I mean, your top 6 guys of Toney, MVS, Skyy Moore, Rashee Rice, Richie James, Justin Watson, and if Justyn Ross can somehow stay healthy, like, you've got depth. But you don't really have that proven number 1 receiver. I think we're hoping Kadarius Toney could be that. MVS is not a number 1. I don't think Skyy Moore is either. Rashee Rice, I mean, maybe down the road he develops into that, but that's asking a lot out of a rookie. But Mike Evans is a proven number 1, and he's only got 1 year left on his contract. So if Tampa was willing to ship him out, I don't think you'd have to give up some crazy offer to go get him, and you don't have to keep him long term. Like, you could throw maybe a day 2 pick to Tampa, get Mike Evans, and then reassess after this season if you want to keep him long term or not. I'm not saying I would panic and do this, but if you want to get that bona fide number 1 and let some of these other receivers, have a slightly lesser role in expectations, then a guy like Mike Evans could help you do just that. Now, should the Chiefs trade for Mike Evans? What do you guys think? Put your GM hat on. Type T for trade or P for pass. Let me know in the comment section below. T for trade, P for pass when it comes to Mike Evans. Now, help us out. Spread the word by sharing this video on social media. Click the share button. Share it on Twitter by selecting Twitter, then clicking post to Twitter. Now, before you send out the tweet, if you want a little extra incentive, tag me at HGrahamNFL for a retweet. I'll retweet everybody that shares this video, and then the first 10 shares will get a shout out on a future episode. So follow those steps, share, Twitter, tag me. First 10 people get a shout out on a future episode. So the race is on. Don't be number 11. Go ahead and share this video right now. Okay, from one trade rumor to another, how about Chase Young? Sports Illustrated named the Chiefs as a team that could trade for the Commanders' edge rusher, who, of course, has been banged up the past couple of years. Here's Adam Schultz of SI saying, could Steve Spagnuolo do with a player like Chase Young? Without a doubt. While there is the injury history and what the compensation would look like, having Young potentially take over from Jones as the team's top pass rusher could be intriguing. Now, that last part is a little rich to me. Like, I don't think Chase Young is supplanting Chris Jones as this team's top pass rusher anytime soon. But if he can get back to his closer to his potential, which we saw as a rookie, then he could be a pretty damn good player. Commanders declined his 5th-year option for 2024, so I don't think they're actively looking to trade him, but, maybe they would be willing to move on and, just extend Montez Sweat, because they're probably going to have to make a decision between Sweat and Young coming off the edge in the next 12 months or so. Again, you look back at his rookie year, a lot of promise. 7.5, 8 sacks. Then he tears the ACL in 21. That that injury recovery took longer than expected, only played in 3 games last year. He's got huge potential. He was a number 2 overall pick for a reason. I still think the Chiefs could use another edge. I know they drafted Felix Anudike-Uzomah, but, I think there's room for more here. There's a reason why Frank Clark keeps getting recruited from Chris Jones. I think there's room on the defensive line to add another edge. And Chase Young, if he could come to Kansas City, get a reset, and kind of reset his career, I think this is a great place for that. I mean, Andy Reid's a proven kind of example of guys getting second chances and really taking off. So we'll see if Chase Young could be an option. I'd be surprised if this one happened before the season, but maybe it's a deadline deal, right? Maybe Washington's struggling and they go out and they get another pass rusher at the NFL trade deadline. Okay, we'll ask you about this one. Should the Chiefs trade for Chase Young now? What say you? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Again, just like with Mike Evans, it comes down to trade compensation, but I'd be intrigued. Chase Young is a hell of a talent. Is Deneric Prince, the undrafted free agent out of Tulsa, going to make this roster? Chiefs reportedly big fans of his size and speed combination. And at Chat Sports on our draft board, we had him as a draftable player. I think we had a 6th, 7th round grade on him. He ended up going undrafted. So when they picked him up, I was like, ooh, I like that pickup quite a bit. Here's Jesse Newell of the Kansas City Star saying, the Chiefs in the last 2 drafts at least have appeared to be targeting a specific type of running back, speedy but also with good size. So who led all of 2022 draft eligible players in speed score, which is kind of this advanced analytical thing combining size and speed based on testing numbers. Last year, Isaiah Pacheco, 118.5 score. This year, first-round running backs Jahmyr Gibbs, 110.1, Bijan Robinson, 108.7, ranked 2nd and 3rd among pre-draft players in speed score. Guess who was number 1? Deneric Prince, 114.2, whom the Chiefs picked up as a UDFA after he ran a 4.41. So big, physical, and fast. That's kind of been the theme these last couple of drafts with running backs, and you're getting good value, right? I mean, Pacheco was a 7th-round pick. By midseason, he was your starter, and he played really well in the playoffs. Deneric Prince, a guy that I think should have gone 6th or 7th round. Similar traits. Now, he's got to improve in terms of vision. He doesn't catch the ball that well, so, I don't think he's like a finished product by any means, but I'll predict it right now, and I think Deneric Prince makes this team because I think the Chiefs are more likely than not to move on from Clyde Edwards-Helaire, whether that's a trade or a cut situation. I think they'll get into training camp and, maybe hope they can flip him before roster cutdown day. If there's an injury elsewhere, I think CEH could certainly help the team, but he's behind Pacheco and McKinnon right now, so I think Deneric Prince could make this team as RB3, and then hopefully you could ship out Edwards-Helaire, save $2 million, and maybe get a late-round pick. Now, pick one. If only one of these guys can make the team, who you picking? Type DP for Deneric Prince, CEH for Edwards-Helaire. If all things are equal, give me Prince, man. He's going to be cheaper as UDFA. Edwards-Helaire, he's just in that bust category at this point. Good rookie year, but did not ever really take those next steps with injuries and underwhelming play. So I'm predicting Prince. Let me know who you would rather have. All right, that's it for today's Chiefs Report. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video on Twitter. That way we can grow the movement here at the Chiefs Report. I'm Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon here on the channel.